Today is the 7th of April 2024. This is actually my first proper full video, not the introductory one. And I'm starting with a pretty heavy subject, not wanting to live anymore. And I probably won't share this video yet. I can't start there. I'll probably release this later. But I want to record this now because I think feeling this low is partially what's making me want to make these videos. And so I'll start here and perhaps publish this a bit later. So where am I at? I came down with CFS August 2017. I spent 16 months pretty bad, working because I had to, because I'm the main breadwinner, but really struggling and not having any life out of work. And as often as I could, I would work from my bed. And then I got quite a lot better. And I'll talk about that in other videos. And I was so determined that I would beat this. I was going to beat it. I was going to be one of the ones that escaped this pernicious condition. I was so determined. I was so confident I would manage that somehow. But I don't know, it was towards the end of February, I just relapsed. And I don't really know why. And again, I'll talk about relapses because those are tough. But I relapsed bad. And the not knowing why, and not being able to explain it to your employer. Not knowing how long it's going to last. It's really hard. And added to that, I've started having heart problems. And I'm 52 years old. I used to, before I came down with this, I was training for a marathon. You know, for years I was a personal trainer and other things. In my youth, aerobics instructor. I was a national squad gymnast as a girl. And so being healthy and well and fit were massive for me. Really massive. So the idea that at 52 I have a heart problem is disconcerting. And I've had a trip to A&E in the last week with my heart, and I'm told by the cardiologist and other doctors that I'm almost certainly going to be fine. Lots of people live with a heart murmur and palpitations just fine. But I think what's so difficult is me being me. I immediately went away and did a little bit of research and found quite a number of studies actually now, research being done, or that has been done, and heart failure and CFS. And the research is there, there's connections, and there's a worrying article from Fatigue Journal 2016, which indicates that the average age of death by heart failure of somebody suffering from CFS is 58, which is 25 years younger than the general population. But when I saw the cardiologist in A&E and just asked her about any connections between CFS and heart failure, she just looked at me blankly and said, I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about that. So that's hard. And I've just been signed off for 2 weeks. And I'm letting down colleagues and work again, which feels shit. And I'm doing better today. I really am. I feel like I'm tired. It's still the morning, so there's still time for me to completely crash, which will happen. But for now, I'm okay. But 2 days ago, I really wasn't okay. Thoughts of wanting to die, that's not accurate. Thoughts of wanting the struggle to end just circled my head over and over. I couldn't get out of that cycle. And those thoughts had been, quite persistent over the preceding several days. And I think it's just because one gets so tired of struggle. It's a perpetual struggle living with this condition. And the worry that comes with it, and the loss of identity, and the loss of friendships. And so for me right now, I don't know how things are for you, but for me, a big E is identity. I used to live quite large. I mean, I've always struggled with tiredness on and off since having glandular fever at age 19. So, that's crept up on me periodically and has reduced my capacity to all the things that I want to do with life. But, CFS obviously just destroyed my life. Took everything away, everything I wanted. I'm an academic. I'm a theatre academic at university, and I love my job. I'm a really good teacher. I love my students. I love my subject. But I can't remember the last time I went to the theatre and was able to watch the complete show without having to go home at the interval. And to be honest, I just don't really try to go to the theatre anymore because it's pointless. I can't manage it. At least half the time I end up not going. I can't concentrate. I can't think clearly. I have no memory. So actually trying to engage in high-level research, my area is performing robots, which I love. I just can't do it most of the time. I have my contract with work. I was a really good researcher. And I just can't do it most of the time anymore. I can't go to conferences and participate. If I do really, and it's always pushing myself so hard to attend conferences, I can't really participate. I can feel my heart just pounding out of my chest right now. My heart's not right. Anyway, so yeah, not being able to do my job properly. That's hard. So one is continually failing with one's job. Continually. Every year I have a PDR, and every year I'm not measuring up. So that's quite hard for somebody who, loves what they do. I really need a tissue. Who loves what they do. That's hard. And who takes great pride in their work. That's really hard. So identity as well. I'm reasonably smart, reasonably articulate. I love life. I used to love socialising. I loved my friends. I loved a party. Well, I don't do that anymore. My friendships, it's put very big stress on my friendships. So I don't really have the same kind of friendships that I used to have, you know. It's really hard for people. Sorry. It's really hard for people, I think, even for the best of people, to hang on in there with somebody with ME, CFS, because you're not the same person. You can't be the same person. You can't give in the same way, because you can't really leave the sofa. And quite often, actually, just a conversation is too much. So I pace most of the time, even over the last few years, even when well, I pace myself to sort of one friendship conversation a day on a weekend, because otherwise I just need to lie on the sofa. And yeah, I've sort of some dear friends that have become quite distanced. Of course they have, because I'm dull. I'm really dull now. And my life is very small. So I used to be very, very political. I used to be very politically engaged, listening to the radio, usually getting my news that way. And, you know, getting angry about things, about politicians and how they should do things, and things happening in the world. And I can't cope with that anymore. So I don't know what's going on in the world. So you can imagine what it's like, talking to me. Must be really boring and really hard work for people. Then there's the guilt. Oh, guilt's a biggie. Letting down colleagues, letting down students, letting down friends, letting down family. Not really, and I think so. Not being able to be a mother, really, just lying on this sofa or in bed for days at a time. Sometimes, actually, the last week, just lying and gazing out the window because I haven't had energy to even read anything. And the things I am reading are things with happy endings, you know, and really easy reading, because that's all I can cope with at the moment. This is such a self-pity party, isn't it? I'm sorry about that. Anyway, I just think I got to the point, because it's a relapse, and, you know, my husband and my doctor, you know, both said, you've got yourself out of this before, this kind of hole, you've got yourself out of it before. And they're right, but I think the thing is, when I got myself out of it before, it was all new. And so I had all this hope, and hope is really important. And the thing is, I've been on the paleo diet almost constantly for nearly 7 years now. And I think what's been hard the last few days is accepting that I'm not going to beat this. That there is something, and I've tried a lot, and again, I will talk much more positively about all the things I've done and tried that have helped, some of which have helped massively. So, but there is a sense right now in which I realise that I'm going to have this the rest of my life. I'm not going to be exceptional. I'm very, very ordinary. And this is it. And also I'm the main primary breadwinner, so I can't afford to stop working, but there's this kind of sense that in order to work, I have to push myself to my limits, and you shouldn't be doing that with ME. And it means, in my head anyway, I think that I'm probably now having heart problems because I'm pushing beyond my limits, because I have to, because I have a son, a husband, a house, and the rest of it. And we can't afford for me to stop. And this is my life. And I'm just not ready to let go of all the hopes, that I have for life, for the travel, for the writing, for the joy of having energy. I had a great day in January. I had one great day in January where I felt normal. And it was so joyous to feel normal for a day. And I just feel really alone and isolated. And nobody really, you'll find that your friends and loved ones, really, really close friends, and the people you live with, they'll understand. They'll see, because they see, but nobody else does. Nobody else sees. Because you use up, or I use up my full battery in the hour or 2 or 4 hours that I have to be with people. And I use it all up. Then I have nothing left. The people don't see that. They don't see it. So they think it's all they think you're putting it on. I think they think you're putting it on. And that's hard as well. Anyway, I don't want to not be alive. There is so much I want to do with my life. Still, I think there's just a bubbling hopelessness that perhaps I won't get to do those things, and not really liking myself very much anymore, and knowing I have to be someone that I'm not, and knowing how other people see me, and the loss of friendships, and the Christmas day, lying in a bedroom on your own, hearing everybody having fun, or you lie there on your own, and nobody comes up to see you because they're living their lives, and you think this must be what it feels like to be a ghost, to see the world, to see everybody living their lives and not being able to participate. And you know they love you, but you know you're on your own because they've got to live their lives, and of course they do. So I hope that you find a way through this. The thing that pulled me out of my profound funk 2 days ago, first of all, was my husband, who sat with me for 2 hours, realising how low I was, because I plucked up the courage to tell him. He sent my son up, who's 15, and my heart, and my son tried to grapple with what I'm going through and he told me that the cardiologist would find answers, and I would be okay. And I have to be okay, don't I, for my boy? So do what you can. Know that if you feel low like I did 2 days ago, I'm no longer there in that dark hole where I went for a slow walk. I was being overtaken by old people with walking sticks, and I was just praying to collapse and die. I just wanted a heart attack. I just wanted an end. But I don't feel that today. And neither will you. 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time. Reach out to people you love. And just don't let go of the hope.